your inner child hasn't gone anywhere, hasn't disappeared, and it's definitely not gone forever. It has just been dormant, perhaps for a long period of time. And today's video is to let you know that that is normal, it's common, it happens in our modern age. And I want to also share with you some ways that you can perhaps move it forward, bring it to light, reconnect with it again, integrate it with yourself, and live life in a more integrated, holistic way. Not as a child again, but as the child brought into the modern world, into the present day with the mature psychology, the adult psychology. If you're a new viewer to the channel, welcome. If you're a returning viewer, welcome back. If you want to be a part of this community in a deeper way, just click that button below. It'll send you over to my website. Sign up to my monthly newsletter. We talk about rebuilding purpose, rediscovering who you truly are, and then moving towards an ego soul integrated lifestyle. And as a thank you for being part of the community, I will send you my 3-step identity rebuilding guide. As we move on in life, we get married, have kids, have a job, move to a different city, all these things that we typically have to do in order to survive and make ends meet, have us abandon that spirit, that life, the force of life that exists within us. And as the years go on, we start to slowly and slowly live more in the upper realm where the ego inhabits and completely move away from the soul. And why do we do that? Well, many reasons. Perhaps when we were children, we were given a title right off the bat. Maybe we were meant to be the conflict resolver in the family. Maybe we were the punching bag for somebody in the family. Or perhaps maybe we were bullied a lot as children, and there was something about us that we felt is unacceptable to show. And so we've had to just push it down and suppress. And felt the need to mature quickly. Age quickly. And as the years go on, we get into that habit. Anything suppressed turns to repression, where we no longer can be aware of it anymore. And we have now emotional knots and complexes and traumas and pains that live within us that if we don't contend with, they run amok and they control our lives and they control the way we see everything and view the world. It's unfortunate. It really, really is unfortunate. But the good news is, here's the good news. It never goes anywhere. It's always within you, ready for you to call it forward. Now, the path to calling it forward is not going to be a straight line. It's quite a difficult path to do. Some days you'll feel on point with it. Some days you won't. Some days you'll feel you've touched it and you've understood it. And then other days you feel like you have no idea what you're doing all over again. Absolutely normal, absolutely natural. That's why I call it a lifestyle. Ego soul integration lifestyle. The inner child. There's a misconception that when we talk about the inner child. A lot of times it's interpreted as bringing the child into the modern day, into the present moment as an adult. But you're not meant to be a child forever. Haven't you ever seen somebody in your life that they could be 40 years old, 50 years old, but the way they act and think and perceive the world around them is of a child? Almost as if they feel things should flow upstream to them and they don't understand why that's happening. It's frustrating and they're projecting and pushing blame. You can feel it off them and you can see it if you really pay attention to it. And it's tragic to see. It's sad to see. So you don't want to be a child in an adult body. What you really want to do is have the adult psychology wrapped around the child psychology. You maintain the spirit of play, destruction, absurdity, adventure, but it's wrapped and comforted by the adult psychology that you are today. Now, oftentimes the reason why we don't have this transition period from the child psychology to the adult psychology because there is no portion where there is no transition period. Ancient man in tribal times, there used to be a rite of passage when a boy turned, let's say, 15, 16 years old. There was a rite of passage for them to go from boy to man, from girl to woman. And in a sense, an ego death, the way they interpreted it, was the death of the child. The death of the child psychology, and now into the man psychology, into the adult psychology. Not abandoned, integrated, matured, evolved. And we've sort of lost that transition period in our lives. We can often replace it with graduations from school and university and colleges. Or if you're in martial arts like I am, I'm a black belt in jiu-jitsu, and there's rite of passages when someone goes from one belt rank to the next. There's a ritual process to this, to shed away the old belt, to let it die, not to forget it, integrate it, and not try to embody it or reject it at the same time, but instead integrate it into your life, reinterpret your life moving forward, and let go of the old stories and evolve into the next journey. We've sort of lost that middle passage, but you can create it for yourself. It's hard to do. If you had a community of people that were on the same path. It makes it much easier. Makes it way more powerful, that archetypal energy. So in that time, you would have the sages, the wise man, the wise old elder, who would curate this ritual of transition, the holder of knowledge. It's done for thousands of years across cultures. So I'm not saying you got to find an old man to do this for you. Oops, sorry. But I'm just sort of riffing off a little bit. But getting back on track. If you wanted to bring this child forward today, how do we do that? Well, number one, if there's particular traumas and emotional knots and complexes that we have to contend with, we're going to have to deal with that first. We have to look inward and ask, quite literally ask, what is it that you need? What is it that I've been ignoring for so long? Because when we live our lives and we pursue our goals, we pursue dreams, and we live above the surface into the conscious ego realm, and we abandon the soul, we lose track of what it wants. We don't know what it wants anymore. And there's a fragmentation happening within you. And so we have to align those two together, get that communication channel working smoothly. So you have to turn inward, maybe have a journal with you. Journaling is really good. Or as I like to do it as a lifestyle, I advise my clients as well, make it just a part of your daily habits in terms of reflection and thought. Communicate with it, converse with it. What is it you want? What is it that you need? What is it I can do for you right now? Make amends. And always remember, when you look inwardly, curiosity, adventure, love, compassion, but with a firm hand. Do not criticize. Do not judge yourself. Don't shame yourself. That dynamic, that approach is only going to scurry everything away, and it's going to keep that fragmentation moving in the same direction it always has. We have to change the approach. And then once we communicate with it, we can start to understand what it is that it wants, what memories hold the most knots. And then we have to be able to do three things. Let go of old stories that do not serve us anymore. Integrate the aspects of that story that brought us to this point today. Maybe you're more resilient. Maybe you're stronger. You're wiser. You're more empathetic. You're more organized. Something has helped you. Something has gained in your life. And you can integrate that, accept it, surrender to it. And then number three, reinterpreting your life moving forward from this point onward. And another way you can activate some of that child energy is through 5 things. Number one, it's creative play. Drawing, sculpting, painting. Number 2, chaotic play. Play without rules, boundaries, or limitations. No expectations of winning, just have fun and play around. Number 3, absurdity. Being silly, goofy, not making any sense on purpose. As I say to my daughter, just be a silly goose. Make no sense at all. It's a lot of fun. Number 4, destructive play. Obviously in a safe environment. You don't want to destroy your belongings, but something that you don't really need, you don't have to use, or you're going to throw it out anyway. Break it apart. That's more of a boy tendency, but you girls can do that too. No problem. And then finally, adventure. aim somewhere and say, I'm going to go there. I don't know what's over there, how long is it going to take me to get there, but I'm going to go there. These are generally child energies, archetypal energy, that you can use to revitalize and re-spark the child again. And then with that, remember, integrating the traumas, the pain, the complexes that live within you in the unconscious realm. Bring it forward, contend with it, integrate with it. And as you start to do that, as the weeks go on and months go on, you are going to feel better. And by better, you're going to feel clearer, higher levels of energy. You're going to feel calmer. You're going to start to feel you again, more united again. And at that point, you can start to feel your purpose start to shift. You can feel an orientation. Something within you is going to pull forward. I'm under the firm belief that God or universe, whatever you'd like to call it, rewards those that integrate. If you integrate ego and soul, immediately you feel this pulling force drawing you somewhere. And I know you know what I'm talking about. You've probably felt it yourself. It's there. And we can reject it, or we can try to understand it. I encourage you to try and understand it, to engage with it. Don't simply reject it, but also don't simply just blindly fall into it. It's something you wrestle with. Regardless, aligning yourself, integrating yourself, bringing the child forward into the world today, but wrapped around the adult psychology that you are. If this resonated with you, I'd love for you to join my community if you want to take it a step further and get more deeper information about my rule of three, which is to rebuild purpose back into your life, rediscover who you truly are, and move towards an ego-soul integrated lifestyle. And as a thank you again, I'm going to send you my 3-step identity rebuilding guide. And of course, I want you guys to share your stories in the comment section. If you have something you want to share, something you feel you got to let out, this is the community to do so. Thank you very much, and I'll see you on the next video.